Alrighty, guys. Good morning. Welcome to this Wednesday, December 17th. Exactly 1 week until the 24th, Christmas Eve. This is freaking you out. Today, hopefully, I'm gonna not forget to turn off the recording. I forgot to turn off the recording yesterday. Recorded the whole day, and that's like, okay, I didn't work out too good. But anyway, starting yesterday, we had a kind of a mixed day. We had the employment situation come out. We had a little bit of news, retail sales come out. Mixed reaction, volatile, not directional. And there's a couple of good attempts to take it lower, which got met with some buying. And we're kind of holding on. We're holding on in the range still. The news this morning, though, is we had the mortgage apps come out at 7. And that was pretty much a little bit to the downside. Retail sales again at 8:30, so another retail sales number. Business inventories at 10. Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations at 10 as well. All report at 10:30. It's another whole lot of news. A 20-year auction at 1. But another whole lot of news to drive the market today. I think 8:30 is going to be the most of it. Tomorrow, though, Thursday, we get the CPI number and jobless claims. So that's going to be interesting. So inflation reads for tomorrow. But again, that's tomorrow. Right now, we are firmly rolled into the March expiration, March 26th. And we are right now holding in a range. So yesterday was, I think, a pretty key day in terms of holding on. I mean, you can see a Friday, there was a pretty good sell-off going on, pretty much a risk-off day. The gap up when we rolled to the March expiration. And since then, we had 2 down days. Yesterday turned into more of a range-bound day after the held support, but it was a pretty good move to the downside there as well. And now in the overnight right now, we're kind of back up again. So going to modestly optimistic. I'm going to start off range bound. There's no reason to do anything else. I can't say we have a Santa rally going. I can't say that we are in a risk-off mode either. So I would just start off range bound, looking to sell strength, buy weakness, and then watch the outer edges to see if we get some directional moves. So at this point, given the overnight, I would start off probably looking for early strength, see if they can try to take it higher. But I would look for short setups against the 6680 or 6880, 6880s, 6890s, 6900s, 6915 up to that level, 6930. I think above the 6910, 10 to 15 here, we are pretty much can start leaning towards the long side. Last one would be up here at the 6930s. And on the way down, looking to buy weakness at 68.65, the 55s, 45s, 35s, 20s down to the 10s here for rotations back up. Last one would be at 6,800. So between 6,800 and 6,900, 6,930 is where we have our range. And pretty much if they start trading outside of that, that's when we can start thinking about the potential direction. I mean, 6,800 is a big area of congestion right below us. And if that comes out and bets are off, we're going to be down in this risk-off mode again. I mean, remember, we were all the way down here flirting with the 6,500s. That's as far as we went in this risk-off mode. And so far, it's been holding on. We held those lines, scratch ourselves right back up again. And you can see this distribution. We've been spending some time up here now building and consolidating. If they can't take this higher, I mean, we may see a bit more, we may see another risk-off mode step here, but it's kind of stuck in a rut. We need a piece of news or some event. I was hoping the Santa rally would start doing something here, but so far it hasn't quite materialized. So looking to sell strength, as I said, against 6880, 90, 6900, 6915 up to the 6930s. Looking to buy weakness, 6865, 55, 45, 30 to 35s, 20s, and 10s to 6800 would be the lowest level to buy against. So they got plenty of range to work with now. They could be a pretty good runs up or down here. So they could be long or short opportunities like go with type of trading as well in between here. Just have to see kind of judge it as it comes in. Sometimes you get these big rundowns, so you just lean into it, and they run through a bunch of levels. And those levels you can certainly hop on the directional movement if that happens, but just be mindful. Try not to hop on a buy level, or try not to sell into a support area, or buy into a resistance area. You know what I mean? That's usually the big mistake you make. And it's all about getting caught in the heat of the moment. And I get caught in that myself all the time. You try, you get caught in it, and then just you just get yourself sidetracked. But you just have to keep at it, keep trying, and try to be deliberate about the trades. When you get into this mode, when you click in trades faster than you should, then just stop. Just stop. I get caught in that myself. Sometimes you get in and yes, get knocked out, yes to the tick, and it's like, dang it. And then you get in again. It's like, well, probably not. Those re-entries, those quick re-entries, quick in and out kind of stuff, especially quick re-entries. If you get into losing trading, it was just there, and sometimes you just have to let it go. I mean, it's the hardest thing to do, but that's kind of the best way to do it. Otherwise, it's easy to get caught in that. You start chasing it, and and then the market just chops you up. You find yourself like, what happened? You're down a couple of $100, and it's like, ah, you know. Anyway, Nasdaq, pretty good move on the Nasdaq as well. They're back up above the 360, 380 area. But they were down here churning for a bit now. They've been down below it. This area congestion, I say, is maybe a little bit broader than the ES, but it's going to ends here at the 39 or 390 to 400s, kind of pretty much where we are trading. And if they can hold above it, we may be right back up again. Maybe make an attempt to challenge these highs again. But right now, we've been struggling. You can see they've been trying to knock it down pretty hard. So this was Friday's, even before Friday. I mean, this was Wednesday and Thursday. They also had been a big move to the downside in the mornings, but pretty good retracement at that. And then Friday's the last day on the December expiration. They ran it hard down. Same story on Monday after the rollover. Finally coming to balance, a little bit of strength developing right now in the overnight. We'll see. Again, still going to be hopeful that maybe the Santa rally has some legs to maybe get started here. So starting off range bound, I think we have an upper level pretty significant here at 850s. So they stalled it there pretty hard. So far, the lower edges has been down here at the 25,000s, just above that. So I would say pretty much 25,000 is going to be the lower edge, and that's our range. So an 800-point range to work with, and I would say look to buy a weakness. Given the overnight, I would probably look for early strength. So buying weakness against the 440s, 25, 390s, 290s, 250s, 180s, 120s down to the 25,070s for rotations up. I'm looking to sell strength against the 25 500s, 590s, 650s, 665s to 70s for rotations back down again. I've got a little drop right now. Drop pretty good. So that's kind of the overall range. So we're a little bit closer to the upper level, but I mean, you see the 800s is up here. I mean, you had to kind of get past a couple of areas of resistance here before we get there, and that's this churn here in the middle. So as you get up here towards the 500s, 600s, you get into value again. So we are down at the lower ends on the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq has a little bit more to go before we can really get excited about the long side on that guy. But we don't need a long side. We can trade it from either side. So we are just start off range bound on the Nasdaq. I would look for early strength given the overnight, but that could change pretty quick if they start knocking it down. So initially looking to buy weakness against the 440s, 25 400s, 300s. Come on, two. So it just shifted on me. Sorry. It's against the 440s, the 380s, 300s, 250s, 180s, 120s down to the 25,070s. And then on the way up, looking for short setups against the 500s, 560s, 620s up to the 660s for rotations back down. And the last one would be at 730 and the 800s here. We have one more level up. Oops, we have one more level up here at the 850 as well to pay attention to. Let me see my I have it to my F1 here. Not it. No. It happened. This is my. Yeah, this is that. But there it was. All right. So here's your F1 again. So that's how we get started, and let's see if we get a little bit of strength building up out of that thing. Right now, it's being it's right there. It's right there in that resistance area. You can get up above these areas, the 370s and the 400s, 420s, rotations up. And if you can get up at 440s, it just shifted again. So it keeps rescaling. So it's moving a little bit right now, I guess. So it's so the 440s here and the 380s, 390s. The volume edge here is still the same. Let's watch for that one, the 360s. If they start heading below this area, that volume edge, then we are going to be heading down again. Yeah, you can see some big stuff going on right there. So not sure exactly what that was all about, but kind of a big move. I don't think we have any news scheduled either. Well, yeah, Christopher Waller is speaking. That's what it is. 8:15, Christopher Waller, Fed speaker. So I wonder what he's saying. But he's saying something which is getting the market a little bit upset, I guess. So here we go. It's a big move to the downside right now. And then finally, bonds. Bonds is still very much range bound. They are kind of holding right in the middle of that range. Not a whole lot to say about it. If you trade bonds, if you haven't traded bonds, maybe watch it. It is a much slower market to trade, and it sets up slowly and it develops slowly, and but it could be very, very lucrative. So we're trading in this low volume area, building value. I would just look to buy weakness against the 1428s, against the 1420s. We're going to sell strength against the 1510s, 1516s, up to that. Well, 1516s. Above that, I'm probably leaning on the long side. So we'll see. We're pretty much in the middle of this one. So potential short against the 1510, 1516. Potential buying opportunity against the 1428 and the 14 for the 16 to 18 is what this is. Yeah, 16 to 18. Rotations back up. So pretty tight range, pretty range bound, and I will just trade it as such. All right. So that's the bonds. Not much else to say about it. I started to see how this whole thing develops. But usually in the bond market, and most of it happens early morning, 8:20 up to like the open. And if it stalls there, then you get if it doesn't stall there, then you're usually after the London close. It stalls. So I have a couple of pretty good opportunities there for finding retest failures and so on and so forth. And I'll keep pointing it out. Maybe I'll get someone excited about trading the bonds. Anyway, so back to the ES, and we got some crazy stuff going on here. Some rotation going on, some action. And hard to say what's going on, but they're down, they're up, they're not the free-for-all selling, but I think it's most likely Christopher Waller speaking, Fed speaker here at scheduled at 8:15, and we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. But that's how we get started. All right, so let's keep my finger crossed we get some Santa rally going here. But right now, good trading, guys, and I'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update. All right, guys, later.